the channel. I have a slightly different video for you guys today, and it's actually going to be some Madden content, not necessarily gameplay, but sort of gameplay, where I show you guys the team that I'm taking over here in what is known as the Relocation Football League. You guys may have heard of this around the Madden community, but I highly recommend that you guys go check them out. It's MaddenRelocationFootballLeague.com. They have a website, and they also have a YouTube channel. And essentially what it is it is a combined league where all 32 teams are relocated. You can only relocate 16 teams in an individual franchise. So what they do is all of the AFC teams are relocated together in one franchise, and all of the NFC teams are relocated together in the other franchise. And then I guess they do some stuff on PC to kind of bridge the gap between the two of them with mods and stuff, and it ends up being a really cool experience where they broadcast all the gameplay, and as coaches, pretty much all we do for this franchise is we manage the team, we build the team up, we do everything related to the team except for actually playing the game. And so you guys will see my team. I am now the London Bulldogs. I've taken over for this team. It's a pretty good team. They actually lost their first game to the Celtic Tigers, who are a really good team, but they've shown promise. And I'm going to give you guys a breakdown of the team and where we're at with everything. And then you guys should be able to see on the Relocation Football League channel the gameplay for this team. You might occasionally see some stuff from me on my channel with it, but I just wanted to introduce you to this. And in addition to this, if you're interested in something like this, feel free to go check it out, fill out an application. You can become a player, you can become a coach. There's lots of different things you can do with the league. And on top of that, I might bring something somewhat similar to my channel where I just do a broadcast style franchise. It's obviously not going to be as in-depth and with as many people. It'll just be me and my couple friends where we do a broadcast style franchise like this where you coach the teams and try and build the team to win a Super Bowl, and we'll have a pot of money at the end, and whoever's team does the best gets to claim the pot of money at the end of that franchise. So if you're interested in either of those things, make sure you hit the thumbs up button down below, comment on the video that you guys are interested, and in addition to that, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Now, with all of that introduction out of the way about what the league is, like I said, go check it out on relocationfootballleague.com or their YouTube channel. I'm going to go ahead and get into the actual team and show you guys who are the superstars, what's important about this team, and what's so cool about this league. So the way that they do this is they actually have to spend a lot of time in the franchise editing in the players. That way they're completely made up. Like I said, it's the Relocation Football League, so all 32 teams are relocated, part in the AFC, part in the NFC, split between two franchises, and then they do some stuff to tie it together beyond that point. But as you'll see, all of the players are made up, and so that's one of the really interesting dynamics of this league, is that it is there's no name recognition going on here at all. It's primarily based on team building, trying to build the best team that you can and influence them to win a Super Bowl by coaching them. That's one of the really interesting things. And in addition to that, they stream and broadcast the full-length gameplay of the AI teams playing each other, which is really interesting. It's definitely a unique way to play the game, and something that I am particularly interested in once I saw one of my subscribers pointed it out to me. So, without further ado, let's get into the team and who are the superstars on the team. No one other than our quarterback here, Timmy Merritt, who is our franchise guy. He is, from all accounts, and we're like 5 years into this franchise, essentially. I have personally only just started this, but we're basically 5 years into the franchise, and Timmy Merritt has been around for the Bulldogs for quite a while. From what I've heard, he has actually won a Super Bowl with this team and in what I believe was his rookie season, but this is our quarterback that we're going to be rolling with, Timmy Merritt. He is an 87 overall star potential player that is 27 years old. He's a very good quarterback, has very good throw power, pretty good accuracies across the board, a little bit low on the deep accuracy side of things, but a very strong candidate to lead this team forward. And then in addition to that, we have a very strong wide receiver core to support him, and so we're going to be focused on trying to get those wide receivers the ball, and it's going to be an interesting dynamic of how do we, select our playbook and select our schemes to influence it so that we pass the ball more. Because one of the struggles that I've noticed while I've watched the gameplay for this team is that they struggle to run the football, and that's mainly because their running back is a low overall and because the offensive line isn't as great at run blocking as you might want them to be. With that said, let's take a look at the wide receivers. Our best player, I believe, on the team, our highest overall, is Stanley Whitehead. He's only 27 years old as a superstar X Factor. He is a 91 overall. He's an absolute beast. He's a little bit slow, so he's only got 86 speed, but he catches everything that's thrown his way. He has a ton of yardage whenever we're actually targeting him in the passing game, and you guys will see that week 1, he had 162 yards and a touchdown, which is just monster numbers for a guy like that. He's not going anywhere. He will be around for the long haul as long as his contract permits, and he will be the main target for our quarterback Merritt. Now, our second receiver, who is also very good, is actually Saul Leckie. He is a superstar, 29-year-old, 87 overall, so a very good target to supplement our number 1 wide receiver, and he's actually a very quick receiver, good hands, good agility, able to, break in and out of his routes very quickly. And so, like I said, our top 2 receivers are very good, but that's not it. Our third receiver, Myrick here, Eric Myrick, is a very good receiver. He is 27 years old and 81 overall. By no means one of the best receivers possible. One of the interesting things about him is that his catching rating isn't very good at all. It's actually only 68. But by nature of the fact that he has really good route running in all categories, he's able to get open, and because he's open, he's able to catch the ball. I don't know how exactly I'm going to utilize him. Having such low catching rating, I've noticed that he does drop balls from time to time, so it could be risky to throw him in. It also might be worthwhile to try and trade him away as a trade piece just to see if somebody else might want him and could value him a little bit more. We still have 2 top-end wide receivers, and I don't see a huge need to keep Myrick around. I could certainly use him to acquire a piece at a different position that could be more valuable to us. Our running back that I had mentioned before that is a little bit younger, he's 22 years old with superstar potential. He's a 77 overall, so he has lots of room to grow, but our primary focus is going to be taking the pressure off of him, because what I've noticed is that this team tries to run the ball a whole lot, so being that he's only a 77, he's not to a point yet where he's able to just kind of go off and break tackles and get through the line and do the things that you would need him to do as a feature running back. So we need to develop him quite a bit more before we can get to that point where we can focus on him as our lead rusher. And then our other running back is Smithson here, Brandon Smithson. He is a star 25-year-old. He's a very effective running back. He actually played really well in week 1. A very quick running back, more of a receiving type of back, but really not that great as a receiving back. None of his stats are all that special. He just is somebody that could develop into a really nice player for us. Now, moving away from our skill positions, we're going to look at the offensive line and the tight end. As you guys can see, our offensive line is really solid all the way across. We have some really good players here. Our left tackle is a little bit older, or no, he's the young one. He's 23 years old, so we will have him around for a long time. Very good run blocker, very good pass blocker. We just have to work a little bit on some of those other stats, and as he progresses throughout the league, it'll be nice to see how he turns into one of the better left tackles in the league, hopefully. In addition to that, our left guard is a 28-year-old, 82 overall. I believe he's the one that I was thinking of that's a little bit older. He'll be around for a couple seasons, which will be nice. Not a very good pass blocker, and I noticed that in the first game. He tends to give up some sacks, and so we're going to want to try and avoid him being matched up against any good pass rushers because he will just let them free, but he is a very good run blocker. So I don't know what the best way to handle him is, but it might be a good idea to move him to like center or something like that where he doesn't have as much of a pass blocking responsibility, or if the person he's pass blocking gets through, they're slower so they can't get to the quarterback as quick. Might be good to leave him at guard. I don't know. We'll have to evaluate that as we move forward. Connor Busing or Bussing, I don't know how to pronounce his name, is our center. He's a very good all-around center. I would like it if he was a bit stronger. I think what the move might be that I would prefer is moving him to guard, actually, because he would be a much better effective guard. And then I would consider trading away Richard Porter just because of his lack of pass blocking ability. He would be a really good run blocking center, but I don't know if I can handle his lack of pass blocking ability. And then our right guard is actually Lee Corona, who is another young, high potential offensive lineman for us. Doesn't actually have a dev upgrade, a high dev, but really strong player, really good stats for a 22-year-old player, could turn into a really nice offensive lineman for us. And then our right tackle is Jake Moffitt over here, a younger right tackle, 80 overall, really good stats across the board for him as well. So it'll be nice to see if he could turn into a really reliable offensive lineman for us. And then where things get interesting for the offense are actually our tight ends. So the best tight end on this team is Ben Hartman, and he is kind of an established player for this team. He's got good hands, decent speed, good run blocking stats, so he's a very good all-around tight end as an 80 overall that's 25 years old. However, I've identified the fact that this team has Thomas McDonald, who is only 21 years old at this point and has 90 speed and 88 catching. So he's not the best run blocker in the world, as you can see by his stats, but he could turn into a really nice receiving threat for us, and I want to try and develop him into something special, if at all possible. Now let's move on to the defense here. The defense is where we do actually have a couple special players. One of our better players on the team, one of our best players on the team, maybe our best defender, is Jack Brodine or Brodine. He is actually an 85 overall, and what's really nice about him is he has 99 strength and 90 block shed. To boot, he also has 84 power move, but essentially what this means is that he's a monster run stopper, and he should be around for a while. I don't see any reason to let him go. He should be a monster in the middle. We have a young rookie D-tackle alongside him in Tyler Keltner. I don't know how I feel about him yet. He's got decent stats for a rookie, but I might be looking to transition to more of a 3-4 because what you'll see is I have a rookie middle linebacker that could develop into something special. Our other good defensive lineman is Roland Kaiser. He is 27 years old, has star potential, has really good attributes across the board with 89 power move, 90 strength, not very good block shedding. I'd like to get that up a little bit, but he's a very good pass rusher. And then on the other defensive end spot, we have Harvey Hoover, who is a nice, well-rounded player, very strong, good block shedding, so a very good run stuffer. Might play better as a D-tackle, if I'm being honest with you. And decent power moves, but not very good. But just a nice kind of plug-and-play player at the defensive line position. And then our corners, we'll talk about our number one corner is Carlos Gent. He is 29 years old with Superstar, so he's a little bit up there in terms of age. And not the best corner in the world, but he should kind of maintain that overall for the next couple seasons because he has that superstar trait. In addition to that, we have Brandon Bowen, who is a 27-year-old star. He's not really going to progress too much. Our corners kind of are what they are. We have Bowen, we have Gent, and then we have some younger guys. We actually do have Dillard here, who is a 68 overall with Superstar. It might be good for us to try and force him a ton of XP, but we'll see how that goes. We kind of got to temper our expectations because he is a 68 overall. Moving on to our linebackers, as I noted before, we have this nice rookie linebacker that I want to get involved in the play because he's only 20 years old and he has hidden potential. Good rounded player for a young rookie linebacker, should round out into a nice player if we could develop him. Or he might take Duncan Bain's spot, depending on what happens with him, because he is getting up there in age. He's 30 years old. He could regress pretty hard. He's got really good stats all around that I like to see. Our outside linebackers, at the left outside linebacker spot, we have Harvey Ishmael, a nice, young, well-rounded player. Really good hit power. A little bit slow for my liking. Might actually play better as a defensive end. So I had this idea where Ishmael might be better off if he bumps to defensive end, and then Hoover bumps to D tackle, and then we would have to make an evaluation of what we do at linebacker there, but that could be a potential move for us that could help us out quite a bit. And then at the other linebacker spot, we have Willis Savage, who is a rookie. He is a 75 overall, decent stats, really good finesse move, so could turn into a good pass rushing linebacker if we did decide to go with a 3-4 scheme, but that is still up in the air at this point. In terms of our safeties, we have veteran safeties at both positions. Ronell Cosby is a 29-year-old, 82 overall, just a solid all-around safety. Good run support as a free safety, which is nice to have. I like having run support on both ends, but that does sacrifice some coverage ability. And then our strong safety is Kasim Addison, a little bit slow for a strong safety, but he's got really nice zone coverage actually on this side of the ball, and he's 25 years old, so he could progress a little bit. So that's our team. Actually, I should point out as well that we have a really good kicker and a really good punter. Our kicker is old. He is like 35 years old, yeah, and he's an 80 overall, but he's got 96 kicks power, 90 accuracy, so he's a really nice kicker, but he might retire or might just, leave at some point or might regress. So for this season, at least, we have a really nice kicker, and then our punter is Chandler Overton that has 96 kick power, 88 accuracy, which is really good for a young punter. And that's pretty much where we're at with the team. We have a really nice, well-rounded team, as you guys could see, decent overalls at pretty much every position. And the goal is going to be to try and figure out which playbooks and schemes will help this team play better. And then hopefully we can get into a playoff spot out of the AFC East here. I think that we can do it. There are a lot of high hopes for this team. I think this team is well-rounded, and our strongest asset is the fact that we have such a solid offense. We have a really good, well-rounded offensive line, a little bit weak in terms of pass blocking with our left guard, but one guy's not going to kill us. We have a very solid quarterback that has a history of inaccuracy, but we might be able to develop him to be a little bit more accurate, and then we have really solid wide receivers that pretty much catch anything that comes their way. So I like this team moving forward. Like I said, if you guys have any interest in this franchise or just me streaming a franchise similar to this on my own channel, just broadcast style, which is what I mentioned it was earlier, let me know by leaving a like on the video, commenting down below, and subscribing to the channel. Like I said, it's broadcast style, so it's pretty much just watching an actual game play out between two teams, which is a really unique thing to do in Madden. It's not something that I notice a ton of people do, and you probably have to be more dedicated and have a decent amount of free time to actually be able to watch games like that or be interested in it. So I know that this might not be the most popular thing in the world. I'm going to continue to bring you guys the typical content, the tips, the tricks, and everything to help you guys out. And if there's anything else that you guys want to specifically see, leave that in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.